Donald Trump has consistently considered himself to be exempt from the rules that everyone else follows and responsible to nobody, dissimilar to the failures and suckers he scorns for their interesting honest dedication. Isn't it rich that the one who mishandled official influence more than some other and attempted to organize an overthrow against the US government is currently crying about maltreatment of force? And the fake news network that supported and abetted his ascent to power and misuses is working up fascist enemy of government powers with all due respect? Donald Trump has consistently considered himself to be exempt from the rules that everyone else follows and responsible to nobody, dissimilar to the failures and suckers he scorns for their interesting honest dedication. Mary Trump's book explains the way in which this political Frankenstein's beast was made, being protected from the typical tensions of growing up and earning enough to pay the rent. He never confronted the results of rule-breaking and gained from his father how to run a bigoted property the executives organization, game the framework, overlook legitimate activity, and purchase right in the clear. One of his number one legitimate devices has been to cover lawful difficulties in administrative work and time-sucking procedural postponements until the clock abandoned his qualification for arraignment. Nailing Trump for infringement of the Presidential Records Act isn't quite so attractive as sentencing him for subversive follows-up on January 6. However, they couldn't get Al Capone on something besides charge violations. Showing the full greatness of his harmful self-centeredness, Trump went on his Fox News to refer to this as the most terrible assault on this republic in present-day history. Likewise, would they say they are suggesting that January 6, 2021 was a bold endeavor to save the republic? Claremont Institute graduate Laura Ingraham even required a cleanse of the military, common help and chose regular citizen initiative of the central government in the event that Republicans recapture control. Allow that be a preventative elector to direct for you, parents. On the off chance that occurs, no administration specialist would be reinstated without insisting a dependability pledge to Trump, their god and fake prophet. They made an honest effort at this for a very long time, yet the clock ran out. Steve Bannon, as of late regarded with a contempt of Congress conviction, referred to the FBI as the Gestapo, carrying one more rich bit of incongruity to 21st century classification. Nobody radiates the new fascism as does Bannon, however they say Hitler had a more pleasant coloring and was said to wash on a more regular basis. He's simply frantic on the grounds that they fell flat to make the FBI into a genuine Gestapo in support of them. Be that as it may, the clock ran out. Presently they whimper about how Democrats have weaponized the justice framework, as though they never attempted to weaponize the overwhelming power of the federal government to take votes, threaten nearby political race authorities, hinder minority citizens, and stack the federal courts with their own flunkies. Or on the other hand, that they attempted to weaponize the US military to go after quiet dissenters so that Trump could pound a Bible before St. John's Church for a photograph operation. Hearing Trump contrast this with Watergate thumped me off my seat with chuckling. Before long I was back on the floor after perusing how Marjorie Taylor Greene is crying to undermine the FBI. Don't you simply cherish how crazy conservatives love to seize liberal ideas for their own misapplication? In the meantime, the Fox News hounds are guaranteeing this is planned to upset Trump's run for the administration in 2024. That expects he'd be qualified to run and not even once attempted to oust the US government. After last week's $49 million decision against Alex Jones, he facilitated individual contempt of Congress associate Roger Stone on his web recording, "Is it time for serious internet guideline?" and contended this is the sort of thing you hope to find in Soviet Russia, Nazi Germany, a socialist Cuba. Whoa now. Following the new CPAC, Conservative Political Action Committee, show that highlighted genuine communist tyrant Viktor Orban, I don't figure Bannon and Stone ought to toss stones. Trump's Republicans consider communism and fascism to be a buffet of dictator layouts and instruments from which to single out. Toss a few twisted ideas from the free speech movement and you have a letters in order stew for a poisonous new philosophy, situating Trump as a political and profound god. Furthermore, they require blended analogies to bear